What is up, guys? Today is day 426. Today I wanted to talk with you guys about a very important subject, something that took over my life a couple of years ago, and it's religion, Christianity to be precise. One of my good friends here, Razmik, and he's also Christian. We just wanted to talk with you guys about what religion meant for us and what it does for us from a day-to-day basis. For me, religion is just knowing that everything will be all right. Things like coincidence doesn't exist. Whenever something comes down your path and something happens to you, it was God's choice to put that on your path. It made you stronger overall. I never look at something from a negative standpoint. I even think that everything that happened to me was taken in a very positive way, such as losing my car, having very much difficulties in school, not finding my way in a normal 9-to-5 job, quitting the army. All that stuff happened to me because God had a bigger purpose for me. For you to just be okay with whatever happens in your life is very important, because I think that some people are concentrating way too much on the things that they cannot control, such as your environment. Relax and overall just understand and acknowledge the fact that you can only change the way you think and not what happens to your surroundings. Even when I'm with Razmik, cannot determine what he's gonna do in a couple of minutes. I don't know how you feel about that.
I think religion, if we look at it on a rational way, I think the whole world is about religion. I don't think that the world has come to existence from just a big bang. And then if you look at it in a deeper way, what is religion? What does it make you do? What does it enforce? In my point of view, I only see the good in it. I don't see any bad things. For example, the rules that are laid down, not only the 10 Commandments, but look at the Bible. All things that God tells us to do are not things that will harm us, but will make us better. I think for me, for example, whenever I feel down and then I go and pray and reflect on what has happened in my life, also like Elias said, the things I cannot control, but there are things that I can control. What would God like me to do in this scenario? And then I automatically find a way, because there are no unanswered questions in life, I think. And then for me, religion answers all of them.
If you look at it from a religious standpoint, that there are no bad people, only people who have just not found God yet, or their way of believing into something bigger that can help them throughout their life. Because some people, they just feel lost. Let's say your parents passed away, unfortunately, or you never got loved by anyone and you just feel like nobody's looking after you. Whenever you feel God's presence and you know that He's there, I think that that will bring you down to a straight path to success. I cannot call it, but it's for everyone different. But I think that whenever you believe in something, life will get better and you will also get better as a person, because we always sin. We are people, we make mistakes. We are not robots. You cannot program us, and even robots are programmed by the people. So there's no way for any organism in this life to not make a mistake. Even the plants, you know, like if you grow yourself out on bad soil or next to a street, you know that the street workers are gonna wipe you out and then it's over for you. You have a very short life. But for everything in life, it has a good side to it. I think it's very important to give people a second chance and also look at people from a different standpoint than to just look at what they've done in the past, because I've also been suffering with what people have done to me in the past, or what people did in the past in general, and I just look at it from a standpoint that they cannot change from it. But if I looked like that, like you said once to me in the car, I can point one finger, but there are 3 fingers pointing back at me. So there are no bad people. Yeah, even though the world is a little bit messed up and there are people doing horrible things, still I cannot believe that there is someone like Satan, the devil himself, who's actually bad.
Bad people are not the question. I think those people we refer to as bad, or some people view them as bad, are just less educated people. Yeah. They don't understand what's going on, what life is about. And therefore we should not judge them, but have a sense of pity for them, because they don't understand what's going on. They're clueless. For example, when I see people openly disrespecting my belief, my faith, my Christianity, I don't think in myself like I'll attack them or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I think in myself, I feel sorry for them. And I hope one day they'll find a way. Neither with people from other beliefs, from people who are Muslim. I try to explain them my truth, and whenever they try to explain their truth, I'll be like, okay, let's agree to disagree. You believe in your truth, I believe in my truth. We can still hang around and act like humans towards each other, because at the end of the day, you're human, I'm human. Just because you have another belief doesn't mean that we should kill each other.
Yes.
Where's peace? Where's love your neighbor? Where's all that? As long as I know my truth, I don't care what happens around me. I know what I'm living for. I know who God is, God knows me, and I think the rest is irrelevant.
How was life for you before you found God? Because me and you, we were maybe born and or raised as a Christian, but you, even when you're raised in some way, you do not truly carry the belief of God, of Him existing, looking over for you and just taking care of you and your beliefs and just making sure that everything you wish for and just work hard enough for will be reality. So how did you live before, and how was it when people were talking about religion? How did you feel about Christianity?
Now, the thing with me was I'm Armenian. So I grew up in a Christian household. For example, there were certain things that were more done than in other households, which is normal because that we are the first ethnicity nation that has adopted Christianity. Therefore, we were more into Christianity.
Yeah.
But then as I was growing up, because of school and because of this and that, people were not really taking it seriously. And I always wondered why. I was a kid, I didn't understand that Christianity was actually, for a very long time before me and probably after me, was being made fun of. And then always, even when I was on the wrong path, I started doing bad things, I had bad friends and this and that. I always had God in the back of my mind, and I was like, how would God view at this? I'm ashamed. Why am I doing this? Somewhere deep in my subconscious, I always knew that I do believe. It's not like I'm on this world just an organ and I'm living and I'll pass away and that's it. No, I always knew there is a God and God wants me to do right. And then when I fully devoted my life to God, by fully devoting my life, I mean praying every day, doing the right thing, started behaving in a certain way instead of the other way. I started seeing changes indirectly that were positive in my life. And I was thinking like, yeah, this is the truth because I am doing what He tells me to do and it has good effects on my life. So this must be the truth. A year ago, I got baptized, and they say when you get baptized, then you officially turn Christian. Because if you're not baptized, you're not Christian. But I look at it from another way. I think you can behave like a Christian, and that also counts. So yeah, I think Christianity in all has a very positive influence on me. And I think as a man being, if you have a higher power you believe in, and not just a higher power, the higher power, because in my eyes there is only one higher power, it will make you a greater man. You live up to something, and that something actually lives up to you, for you, because if you look at it from what we are told and what we have seen and what we have read, what did Jesus do? He came on earth, died for our sins, came back and showed us the truth.
So actually, whenever you started believing truly in Christianity, not only in your subconscious mind, but actively thinking about Jesus Christ, the Lord Himself, then you started to act with integrity. Like nobody's watching, you still do the right thing. That's something I've also noticed. I know God is present with me. He's looking out for every one of us. So whenever I'm doing something, whenever it's a homeless guy asking me for money, even though I know he's not gonna do the right thing with him, you just have to keep in your mind, maybe you are the person that's gonna change his way of looking at life. And just him thinking like, oh my God, God gave me a second chance. This guy gave me €2. I had nothing. At least I can just buy something nice for myself right now. I'm gonna do better because he treated me that way. And that's something I've experienced a lot of times. I think doing the right thing when nobody's watching is also, no, it's actually the most important thing, because some people, whenever nobody's watching, they just think it's irrelevant. They just go over it lightly and they don't look at those people, like all those people just recording when they give out to the homeless or when they record and they pay for somebody's groceries. Okay, it's nice because I know that you make some revenue with it and indirectly you're maybe gonna reinvest it into giving it back to the people, so that's a good case. But for me, all those things I've done, and also like a little thing like here, you burn the candle, you need to pay €1 or €5, depends on which candle that you get. It's integrity, because you do it, nobody is there. You could have just paid nothing, but you have to give something back. Not only prioritize God, but also give a little bit back to God, whether it's you having €20, if you're here and you want to burn a candle, just man, €5, it will come back because God is on your side and He will help you out in the future. How can you expect a big return of investment when you give Him a penny? Not even literally. You can also give Him a penny if it comes to your attention, if it comes to your time. We are here already for, I think, maybe 2 hours because we love God and we love the way that He made us. We have sinned. Lord, forgive me, I have sinned, but we are now here with a new start, and He's all in for it. He's just behind everything that we do. And as long as we help the people, as he helped us, then we will be all right, I think.
Something that you said, I want to touch on. You said maybe the homeless person sees us as God is giving me something. But I also believe, and we can put this under the category of miracles, that sometimes God talks to us through people. And I've had many instances where I was in a situation where I didn't find a solution, and then somebody told me something and I was like, okay, this is for sure God talking to me through this person.
Exactly.
And it happens quite often. I think that even makes my belief even bigger than it already is. God works in mysterious ways that we cannot fathom or even understand, because we are not even close to his level. Everything happens for a reason. You missed your bus, but then on the way walking home, something happens that makes sure that you never need a bus again. You get the chance or the opportunity, or you see something that gets you to level up and buy a car. You never know. Coincidences do not exist.
Do you maybe have an example of a bad thing, relatively? Most people, unreligious, would think this is something bad happening to me, and because you are giving your life to God and you have him in your mind 24/7, you thought of it in a positive way. Because I will just start off with my example. I was in the army and I had to prepare myself for my physical tests, and it was raining outside. It was very bad weather, and I was almost convincing myself to not go and get a run finished. I needed to get my stamina up so I could just get a good score at my tests. And I went on the run and I found 20 euros. Something stupid, because it's your food. It's 20 euros. You can just buy some groceries, maybe for your family also, just some food, and that's already a day of just food that you got from him, the Lord. Because what is the chances of you going through that run specifically? What are the odds of you finding that first before someone else found it? And it was a busy road, huh? And I found it on the ground sticking there, and I was just like, thank you very much. Something stupid also. And because one example I have also, because I really started noting those things that happened to me where I was just like, damn, this cannot be coincidence. This cannot be something just happening because there is something. But it was truly because of God. Because I lost my car and the winter came and there was snow and there was rainfall, there was everything, I started realizing how much of a luxury just having a car is. It's not something that you should take for granted, because before you know it, it's gone. And even when it's the worst car that you can imagine, no AC, no windows that you can do up or down, everything is scratched, the interior is all moisty and all that stuff, still you are dry inside and you can choose to go wherever and whenever you want, and you can just pick out any locations. That's something that really made me grateful for everything, because after that I became minimalistic. I was like, I don't need all this stuff. It doesn't matter, it doesn't define me. When I die, I'm not taking anything with me to
also true
heaven. So
it's because everything nowadays is normalized. A luxury car is normalized because look at what social media shows us. Everybody has a Lamborghini right now. Everybody has a fancy watch. Everybody has designer shoes and clothing. That when we look at our car, for example, I drive an Opel Astra. If I would look at my car and if I was brain dead, for example, or if I didn't have belief or if anything else, I would look at my car and say, I don't have nothing, see what I don't have, instead of being grateful that I at least have a car. There are people who don't even have legs to walk around on. They wish to ride on a bicycle one day. But I think if you are grateful for the tiny things you have, God will reward you with more. Because, for example, let's say, and I hope God doesn't take this the wrong way, what I am about to say, but let's say you were God and you give something to a human, something small, just to check out and test out his faith. And he doesn't even say thank you for the small thing. Why would you even bother giving him something even bigger? You see where I'm going with this? And then when you ask me, like, what's something bad that happened?
Relatively bad. Some people would say most people would say it's bad, but we took it like something positive because it made us the way we are today.
So when I was younger, I'm not gonna say I come from the bottom and I didn't have any food and this and that, but my situation at home was like this, that my mother was working. My father was in and out of prison. And with that, it meant for me that I didn't have all the luxuries and all the toys that every other kid has. For example, there was an instance that I was at a family gathering and all my cousins were on their new tablets and this and that. and they were sitting next to each other, the one with a tablet, the one with a phone, another one with this, another one with that. And I went to sit next to them, and I didn't have those luxuries. And I was like, can I play with yours? No. Can I play with yours? No. And then I started crying like every kid would. And I went to my father and I was like, can you buy this for me? He said, yeah, I will. Never came from nothing from it. And I don't blame him. I had a great father. My father is the best in my eyes. He was there for me. He made me who I am today, you know? And something at that moment that I realized is, okay, even though I am a child and I have to rely on my parents for certain things, I can always strive to get it on my own. And believe it or not, when I was 8 years old, I made my first money on school. When I was 11, 12 years old on middle school, I made my first money there. And in that way, because that one bad thing happened to me, it instilled a characteristic in me of an entrepreneur, a hustler, and a go-getter. If I want something, I'm not relying on anybody. I'm gonna go and get it myself. I know how to do it. Thank God I have 2 legs, 2 arms, I have a brain that functions, I can go get it myself. So that one thing, that one bad thing that happened instilled a characteristic in me that I am forever grateful for.
Yeah, because you would never be the Razmik that I know when you would had a present father who did actually the same things like we think is normal. Because let's be honest, there are more combined couples with like different families going together with the mother and the father than there are a couple of years ago. It's even put on the news that families are breaking up and the kids are having very bad times. So we are not the only ones, but maybe our cases were a little bit extreme because you had a father in some way. He was, and he's still present. I didn't even have a biological father. He just left me for what I am. And I truly believe also that if I would have had a father, then I would never be the guy that I am right now, because I would never be this hungry for success. And it's not because I want to, I don't want to have all the luxury goods. Of course I want to have a nice car. It's not even a symbol of status, but it's also just luxury, because life is nice in a normal car because you're dry, but life is much nicer in a luxurious car,
of course,
with the LCDs, with everything inside of it. So I truly believe that all those things are not bad, because you would never be the same. A mama's child, you know, you would be crying all day, just blaming the system, blaming everything, the government, just how ways are going right now, except yourself. And that's something you should also be held accountable for. Everything is your own fault, everything that happens. Of course, your father being in prison, my father not being there in general, is not something we could control, but the way we act upon those things, we can control. We can control, exactly. Yes. High trees, they catch a lot of wind, you know? So as you grow, you get more and more and more obstacles. Obstacles that you have right now are never that difficult than the obstacle that you had with your father and with my father and with the situation, and us being like a little bit of unique childs because we are entrepreneurs. We want to make something out of our lives. How many people say to us that we are ridiculous thinking about doing something that most people don't? How many people are calling us delusional because we are saying 30, 35, we want to be retired, or at least working for ourselves. Just imagine 12 years of hard work, putting everything towards your own goals.
And yourself.
Impossible that you cannot get successful unless
you lie to yourself. You pretend like you're doing the work, but you're doing the work on camera, but not behind the camera, because that's where the real work happens.
I know for a fact also that I could have been successful with trading already if I would just put my bad psychology, just leave it behind, and my risk management, because when it's Monday and the charts go open and you see London session and you think, oh nice, the charts are finally open, I want to take a trade, and you get caught by those temptations every single time, then it's your own fault. You are stupid, you are the fool, because other people ignore the feeling and they get there and they get the payout and they get funded and all that stuff.
I think taking responsibility over your life is one of the major keys to changing oneself, because if you can always point your finger like he did this, he did that, this was her fault, this was his fault. But when are you gonna point the finger at yourself? Because at the end of the day, for example, with trading, okay, the market might have done this, but at the end of the day, you're the one pushing the button. So who's really to blame but yourself?
It's crazy, man. I cannot even imagine myself blaming others for whatever is happening to me. Not even the government, not even the political state of this country or this world. I don't even blame anything. fighting everything that's happening, the war. Thank God that I'm not fighting there and losing my life or my limbs or whatever it is. But I'm not even blaming whatever is going on with Belgium. All the high taxes, we have the highest taxes in the world. I'm still not blaming Belgium because there's still a way to become successful and still make more money than 99% of the people.
Of course, because I have already touched upon this subject. It's all about perspectives. Someone told me, why do you look at life always from the pink goggles? Meaning that I always look at the good things in life, focus on the good instead of the bad. What do you think of life? Is life hard? The person was like, yeah. And I was like, why would you look at life from the black shades if it's only gonna make it harder? You're gonna make it harder for yourself.
Exactly.
Then why would you look at it from the black shades? Put the pink goggles on and go through life smiling.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know what's gonna happen and you don't know when it's gonna end. Make the best out of it. And if you think that blaming other people, crying about everything and this and that is gonna get you any farther, I'm sorry to tell you, but it's not. It's not. It's even gonna get worse.
Yeah, you have to keep in mind that you are blessed for just working for a good paycheck. Even when it's average, it's still more than all those third world countries. And just even looking at our neighbor countries, Germany also, Spain, Portugal, man, oh damn, Malta, Cyprus, all that stuff, it's not looking good there.
I didn't even
The average paycheck is like 1,300, 400 euros. Man, there are so big blessings. And one time I saw like a video on TikTok, because thank God for TikTok being there, because TikTok made something out of me that I could never be without it. And it's for some people brain rot, you know, the stupid stuff. But how many inspirational things I've seen there just changed my perspective of life so much, because it was always the bright things that I just took and liked and interacted with. I just want to say that trees, they start off on the ground with the grass, but they don't stay there.
No.
They go up. They go up a lot of times. And that's the thing with the money factor, because at the end of the day, we are not capitalists. We are not thinking about the money because we want it for ourselves. We are thinking about the money because our mother could go careless throughout the rest of her life, and our grandparents don't need to worry about being in like a home and being taken care of. All that stuff is just because you want to help out a lot of people. And I think God will reward those who want to make others people easier. And I think that's something I do subconsciously, not because I want to be rewarded by God, but because I truly want to be a better person. It's so nice to have wealth for yourself, but it's much nicer to have €1 million going out on the streets. It's Christmas, giving 1,000 euro vouchers to random people, because they will think, man, what the hell? God, where are you? Where are you? He's just like there, present.
I've read something about that, and somebody once said, I want to be so rich that God uses my pockets to bless other people. And I think that's beautiful, if you ask me.
Exactly.
That's beautiful. Imagine you're so rich and you believe in God, that God instills something in you, that you go out and bless people because you have enough and you are already grateful for what you have and this and that. Get that warm feeling of joy. I think there's not a lot that can match or tip that.
Because some people only need one time, like the tap on the shoulder, like, hey bro, you're doing good. In the gym, for example, it doesn't take much to just give someone a compliment. If he's a little bit overweight or skinny and you see him lifting, give him some advice, talk with him. Maybe he's lonely, maybe he's insecure, all that stuff. You've been there also. You wanted that when you were there in that situation, that somebody came up to you. But we are ascending. We are ascendants from God, and we are here to spread the gospel, to spread peace and love and power to everyone who needs it. Some people, they get joy out of bad things, addictions. Everything can be an addiction. Alcohol, drugs, it doesn't matter what it is. But I get joy from helping others. The fact that my girlfriend doesn't have to work, and I will insist on her not working ever in her life, even when she studies economy in university and she's doing a very great job, getting good grades, all that stuff, I still don't want her to work, because we know good enough how it feels to be under pressure of just money. Needing, oh man, those bills, I need to pay that, I need to pay this, and all the car payment and all that stuff. You know how stressful it is. So imagine how good your life would be when you take that pressure off of someone else's shoulder, and she can provide for you, cook for you, clean for you, take care of you, give you
Yeah, of
warmth.
course.
That's worth much more than just her making also money and yeah, you guys make a good revenue at the end of the month. Yeah, who cares?
I think households were happier back in the days when a woman was a woman, a man was a man, a man provided, a woman stayed home, looked after the children. But if you see what nowadays is normalized, women require for a man to provide, but then they don't do their parts.
Exactly.
They start, I'm not gonna talk about what they do. I think if you log on to Instagram and start scrolling, you'll see what they do. And then they expect that a man should provide them and treat them like queens when they act not even close to a queen.
Those who've never sinned can throw the first stone.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's true. It's something that I cannot also talk about too much, but yeah, it's true because I see a lot of people want to be people. They want to be versatile and they want to have the role of the man and of the woman. So they are women and they want to also make money, but they also want to keep the household clean and put the kids in bed and bring them to sports. And oh man, people are not made for that. Even him and I, we are not made for that. We are made for a good balance. We can work only as much as our body allows us to. Yeah, because some point you will just fall down to the floor and it's over. You have to take rest. It's a burnout, something that I haven't believed in the past, but now I almost got into a burnout because I was working, I was working 14 hours every day for the past 6 weeks. And I was just feeling like, oh man, what is this?
Yeah.
What is my life quality?
Yeah.
Why I still need to go to the gym? I need to sleep. Oh man, it was awful.
There's no
awful.
space to breathe.
Exactly. You need to take life lightly a little bit and also understand the fact that you have time in some way. If you are chasing your goals, then it's either get rich or die trying, like 50 Cent said.
Yeah.
And okay, when you give up and you don't do anything, then the outcome is already fixed. You know what's gonna happen. But I think that when you're chasing your goal, even when you die tomorrow, you will still be happy in heaven because you at least tried.
But yeah, I think as a man being, I think if you go out and act like a man, do what you're supposed to do, and not even care about outside factors that you cannot control, indirectly you will turn out to be happy. Because let's imagine, right? You go out, you work out, you make money, you educate yourself, you do this, you do that. I think there's a special glow, some kind of glow that's around you as a man. That because look around you. What are most people doing? They're not making use of their full potential. And if you are, you stand out. That's where you will reap the benefits of all that struggling. And then in regards to a balanced life, I think a balanced life is okay for the long term, but there could be periods of unbalanced, delusional dedication, going hard to speed up the trajectory of the goal you want to reach. I think balance is important because if you're unbalanced for a long time, you're gonna go crazy. But being unbalanced for a short period of time to speed up everything, I think that's also okay. And then as a man, you can, okay?
You have to.
Because you have to.
When do you feel useless? When you're doing nothing and you don't know where you're heading to in life.
Yeah.
Of course, you need to dedicate your life to God, but you also need to have a purpose and need to be known for something. Yeah. He's the guy making the best cheesecakes in town. He's the guy trading. He's the guy on TikTok, whatever it is. And that's what made him Razmik.
Yeah.
That's what made him worthy of carrying that name, Razmik. Yeah. It's something very important because I see many men, 16, 17, 18 years old. Of course, the most dangerous thing is in that period of time, you have an identity crisis. It's scientifically proven that the majority of those people in those age groups have identity crisis because they want to be part of a group, they want to feel useful, and they also want to follow someone because you need a mentor. Everyone needs a mentor. We need a mentor. Everyone needs. That's the problem with nowadays society. They want a group, and what's the first group that they will have interaction with? The group that goes to party.
The bad ones.
Exactly, and goes out smoking weed in the park.
Because that's the cool group, and they want to be with the cool guys, and they want to do what the cool guys do. They want to go out, party, talk to multiple girls, abuse drugs. I think that because that's what's being advertised, and it's not necessarily their fault because they don't know better. As you said, they have an identity crisis, and then whatever seems cool to them, that's what they'll go out and do.
They will adapt.
But if I could say one thing to my younger self, if you have God as your mentor, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong.
Exactly.
There's no way you could go wrong.
Exactly.
You have already won. You have the greatest mentor of all, the Maker. of everything you see here is the one who teaches you, and he has left a instructions book for you to read from and understand what everything is about. How could you possibly lose?
Exactly. I think if I would say something to my younger self, it's just to keep a vision that's more clear than glass and just follow the path that God made for you. I always say, but it's in Dutch, like, God heeft voor u al een pad gemaakt, jij moet gewoon rechtdoor blijven gaan. Je moet gewoon vooruit gaan.
Ja. Hij zal sturen, jij moet roeien.
Exactly. You just need to row.
He will steer. Yeah.
And he already paved a path in the grass, in whatever it is, and you will just have to go forward in life.
Yeah.
Whatever way you want to take that, you have to go forward in life. And I also believe that everything happens on the right timing. So us being maybe relatively early, because we still see people from our age being lost, drinking every weekend, going out, hanging with the wrong friends, smoking, all that stuff, partying. We woke up relatively early because we were at the parties 13, 14, 15 years old, being there and just seeing however you shouldn't do it is what made us this way today. Because in Belgium we say marginaal. They will say I'm marginaal. I think marginal is also a word in English, but it's a very unused word, but it just means like a very cringy, and also inappropriate. That they will call us that way, very inappropriate, cringy, childish, irresponsible, all that stuff. But because of that, we had a head start. Because if you see it that way, 15, and those people that had our stage of life from 15 now at 21. Okay, so that's like 7 years. So they have to get it at 27, and then it's already too late. You need to start off with building a family and just buying a house. Maybe you even moved out of the house many years before, but still 27 is old. Relatively old, because you still need to make those steps that we already made.
See, that's the part where we were just talking about. There are bad things that happen that indirectly have a positive influence. We have had that bad period early on in life, which enforced us to have the good period now and keep on that good path.
Exactly.
And what can you do? I feel sorry for the people who just now are getting, at our age, I'm 23, he's 22, just now are getting into that partying and that this and that, because maybe, you don't know, maybe they'll stick into it. In Andrew Tate's words, we are now healing like Wolverine, energy for days and this and that, and then you decide to waste that on meaningless parties. Come on, grow up. What are you doing?
Yeah, true.
You're digging your hole even deeper. You're picking one case and another. You're going just deeper and deeper.
That's true. You also need to understand that what you want in life is laying on the other side of what you are not doing. So if you feel you are stagnating, or if you feel you are just on a plateau, just getting the same results over and over again, and it's not the way you want it, then you are doing something or avoiding something actively. Whenever I was having issues with gym, I realized that I needed to just eat more. It's simple as that. Many people, they text us, they say like, how you do it, like the physique, man, just eat more, man. I'm not gaining weight, I'm not losing weight, man. Eat less, eat more, doesn't matter. It's simple. You are just avoiding that. What you need to see that is the problem.
I think that's the point where being curious in life has a major advantage, because if you're curious and you be like, okay, I am avoiding this one thing, but what would happen? Imagine if I did do it. And then you go ahead and do it, and you see what it brings to you, and then it becomes a kind of an addiction, a good addiction, a good habit. So I think being curious in life can open many great doors, but sometimes also bad doors, because if you're curious towards the wrong things, that can also lead to. So it's a double-sided sword, but you just have to make good use of it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You just have to figure out a way to just get those experiences and just feel them in the right way, so that you don't go back to bad habits or bad environments and all that stuff. Because of course it's nicer to just drink a beer in the weekend than to just go to the gym or run 10 kilometers or whatever it is. Yeah, of course, but will you get better from it? No, I think not. And also like the phase of life where people deny the fact that they are out of shape or uneducated and they are just childs in an adult's body, like most people. Most parents do they actually know what they're doing in life other than to just take care of their kids? Like, do they actually know how
No.
the economy works? Do they
No,
actually
no.
know how life works?
No.
Have they done any big challenges in their life? And it's
No.
not to be critical about those parents, because every parent should deserve respect because they're a parent, they raised someone. But I truly believe that most parents and adults are just children in adults' body.
Yeah, but we can't blame them because, let's be honest, it's your first time as a human being, my first time, and it's also their first time as a human being. There is in some way or form a certain standard that I think parents, when raising a child, should live up to make sure that that child grows to become somebody relevant.
Yeah.
And not just another
NPC, a
NPC,
bystander.
just someone breathing, eating, and waiting to die.
Yeah, I think it's very dangerous to just grow up and be raised in a way that your parents say save up money, buy a house, buy a car, get kids, get a pet, and that's it. I think that's the most dangerous thing, because a lot of people got raised like that, and we also probably got raised in that way. But at least we had the common sense of just thinking outside of the box and making sure that life gets to a better level than to just exist.
Yeah.
And just be there, you know, pay your taxes and just go on a holiday once or twice a year. Man, life is much more than this. And okay, of course, we need to acknowledge, we need to also be grateful and thankful for the people that do those normal things, because there are some people made for just hard work.
Yeah.
But for those who think when watching this video, I'm not made to do the normal things, then it's your time to just start adapting towards our thought process and just give your life to Christ. Then to just accept that nobody in your environment is like you, and whenever you say something to somebody, you get discouraged because they say, man, you are crazy, come with us, just have some fun, man, what are you doing? How many people say to us, like, why are you still working? Why are you still working? Why are you still inside? Why do you never go outside?
If you're giving us life advice, why are you not rich yet? Why are you not this yet? Why that yet? Like, bro,
we are rich already, man.
You can't even comprehend the state of being that I am in. And this is not to point out to the people that have negative things to say, but it's like you cannot give advice if you are not already there. And in some way, I understand where you're coming from, but there's two types of people you should take advice from. One, from the person that is in life where you want to be, and two, the person that genuinely wants the best for you. Because, for example, your mother isn't a millionaire, but whenever she tells you to do something, it is for your best interest, or no?
Exactly, and you also need to understand the fact that we are hungry for whatever we want because our future self already has it. And that's sometimes worth more than actually having it already, because when the journey is over, like Central C said, like all the artists said, like all the soccer players say, whenever you're there, the tension, everything, it's over. It's over. You've done it.
Yeah.
First million is difficult. Second one is gonna be easier. So for others to just say like, you don't have it, why you give that advice? It's because we can already envision because of the power of God, what we want in the future. We can already see it. We are driving normal cars. We are thinking about a good car. We are in our apartment or in our home with our parents. We can already think about us just dropping off a big bag of money and our mother just paying off our mortgage or anything like it, just making sure that she's safe.
Again, everything around us is made by our brain. It was once a picture in somebody's mind, and through sheer determination and willpower, he has made it into existence. And for that same reason, when you can already envision yourself having something or doing something or becoming something or someone, it's not there for no reason. God doesn't plant something inside you to rage bait you. It's because he knows you can do it. You have the power to do it. And those difficulties along the way are just lessons to make sure that whenever you are there and you have reached whatever you want, that if something like that again happens or presents itself, then you already know what to do.
Enjoyed having a conversation with you guys. If you guys
see, we were talking about that coincidences do not exist. What happens? He was just saying, and you can see it on the footage, that we are finished and we're gonna end it, and then suddenly the battery camera dies.